Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be checking out, finally, DPR Ian's Don't Go Insane. Do you guys know how hard it was when that challenge was making the rounds on social media to avoid the videos? Like, I'd hear like a microsecond. I was like, swipe, because I hadn't heard the song yet, and I didn't want to swipe. I did want to swipe. I did want to swipe. Well, I didn't want to swipe because I wanted to hear the song, but I didn't want to spoil myself. This is the next song on the list of recommendations you guys gave me, and so we're gonna do the teaser and the music video, because when we made this list, when I was recommended the order in which to check things out, these were listed as two things to check out, kind of one after the other. So I'm assuming that's because they're connected and it's not just necessarily a straight up teaser, maybe? I don't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, pause warning as always. I am a pauser. If that's not for you, that's totally okay. But that's what's probably going to happen. So yeah. Last thing, I think I got something in the last video confused time-wise, mainly because the passage of time is moving too fast for me, and so I thought that we were a lot closer to 2024 than we are, which is yikes. But yeah, without any further ado, we're gonna hop into the teaser. So yeah, let's go.
And there it was. The door.
The door.
Finally. Shall we? Now all we had to do was go through it. However,
Oh?
it was locked. It's never locked. Suddenly, the strangest pair appeared out of nowhere. What key? The green asked. The key in Emerald City, of course, they said. To which I asked.
So which way?
They seemed rather perplexed, pointing in all different directions. What choice did we have? We needed to get through the door. Before we left, they told us to disguise ourselves, for he was expecting us. Before I could ask who, they started fighting.
This is
Thank
very
you, I
slapstick.
said, as we quietly made our way to the bed. I hope they let us borrow this, I told the green. To which the green replied,
I just hope that someday someone would love me.
Oh. First of all, jazzy little soundtrack. Second of all, giving kind of Monsters Inc. a little bit with the door, which is very fitting when you think of kind of hiding like monsters and things like that, but also childhood traumas or traumas in general. I liked this. It's very interesting. The partnership here between Ian and Mr. Green, the whole kind of set piece was giving the Wizard of Oz. You've got the yellow brick road, or the yellow sandy road, I guess. You've got them trying to leave, to go home, to escape. You've got the two comic relief slapstick character fighters. Even Mr. Green's kind of design kind of evokes the Wicked Witch a little bit. I'm gonna say, all I'm thinking is whoever was in this must have been very warm. At the same time as well, with the way that the captions are done, you've got kind of a little bit harkening back, obviously not in aspect ratio, but a little bit harkening back with the captions to old cinema, where like silent films would have the text on screen, like the captions on screen. and things. It's very interesting. Forgive me if you guys have told me. I have forgotten. I do not have a great memory. I don't think I've seen Mr. Green and Ian as a partnership before. I could be wrong. Apologies if I am wrong. When they pulled out, where is it? Is it here? No, okay. Where's the thing? There we go. When they pulled out this wig, just on the Wizard of Oz thinking, my immediate thought was Toto. But obviously it was a wig. But that was my first thought there. Especially again with like the Emerald City as well. I don't remember if I've heard that. Again, apologies, I do not have the greatest memory. But yeah, obviously with like how my current brain is, I'm just thinking of it in that context of Wizard of Oz. And so it's almost like Mr. Insanity is the wizard. So at this point, so I wonder if it's gonna be a character. I say character. If this is an alter that is kind of almost for show, if that makes sense, because the character of the wizard in the Wizard of Oz is a character that is very dramatic and claims to be all powerful, and it's all an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors. And so I wonder if Mr. Insanity, words are hard, is going to be that similar kind of has to have those similar traits to him. I love how it was very comical, and then we got Mr. Green here, and when they went in the car. I just hope someday someone will love me. I think even without like considering like a DID system and like having multiple alters, even just having like a single personality, that can be like a very emotion-filled statement. The acknowledgement of feeling very alone. But I cannot imagine like how it would feel like if you had multiple alters, because as I've said in previous videos, like if, say for instance, Ian falls in love with someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person that he's fallen in love with will love all of his alters. And on the reverse side, they might love one or two of his alters, but conversely not love him. And it's very deep and interesting, because when you think about like films from this time, like the Wizard of Oz kind of era, and even today, all kind of films in Hollywood teach us is that like you'll find your special someone and they will love all of you irrespective of anything negative or anything difficult. And so yeah, framing it in that way is very saddening, I think, especially as well because you've got this character. I'm saying the character in terms of the video here, the way that they're styled and the way that like the video has been, it's been very comical, and so it feels very creative, but it feels like a very like, ooh, surprise, shock kind of feeling for this character to say that, but at the same time it's almost like how the fool character is often the smartest one in the room. Like Shakespeare's fool, for instance, is always the one saying the serious things, or the clever things, or the correct things. And so it's interesting, yeah, that it's coming from him. I really enjoyed the soundtrack to this, though. I can see why it was recommended as a separate entry. Again, when I see teaser in like a video. So often they're literal teasers of like, this is what's going to be in the video you're about to watch, like of the music video, versus teasing something about the video without showing the video. The best teasers for me are the ones like this one, where you're introducing, you're setting up, but I have no idea. I mean, maybe the accompaniment sounds something like this soundtrack. Maybe it doesn't, but I don't know. I'm going away from this being like, I'm intrigued, but I don't know what's coming next. Of course, I do know what's coming next because it's going to be me watching the music video. But in terms of the actual music video, I have no idea. So yeah, I love, as always, I love Ian's brain. I love his mind. It's also very interesting, just as a last thought, going back to the door, the whole, you can't get out of your own mind, like that must be a scary feeling, not being able to, because it's your mind, you know, you, that freedom to move around, weird to say that, but like for me to say that, but not being able to, it's very interesting. It also, I suppose, even from like a non-DID kind of but more just generalized trauma kind of aspect, I guess it does make sense, because when you can't access memories, like I don't remember like 90% of my childhood, so in a way I guess I can relate to that closed door in that way of like, I can't, those memories are there, but I can't get them out. They're in a locked room. But for me, it's almost like a reversed scenario there. Very, 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 very poignant kind of thing to think about. But I'm not going to dwell on that. We're going to go check out the music video. I'm really looking forward to this. I can finally see what the belt buckle, because I do know that from the challenges, like, people are doing things with belts. But I've been very good and not, so I don't know why we're doing things with belts and what we're doing with belts and so yeah. Okay, let's go.
I spent my night on melting snow, just turning my sorrows into pure gold. And I laugh inside, cause you won't know I was here from the moment the lights showed.
Already, I know I'm interrupting like a change there, because like the change already, just from like this part here, it's giving welcome to the show, but like subverted, parallel universe-esque, if that makes sense. Which makes sense if you think of like each alter's lives as a parallel existence. It's very interesting. Sounds great so far, but it's very interesting.
Into pure gold, and I laugh inside, cause you won't know I was here from the moment the lights showed.
Sorry, I know I'm pausing at exactly the same point. I was trying to see here, because I knew there wasn't, I knew it wasn't like dust or anything, but I was trying to see, but they're like, it's like little moths, it looks like. At first I thought it was a butterfly, but the body makes me think it's more of a moth than a butterfly. Sorry, I forgot what word I'd said. Because at first I was thinking as well, I was like, oh, is this angel feathers, just from how they were falling, and I was wondering, and it's interesting when you compare the moth with this choker. We often think of moths as like these, well, when I say we, I mean like society as a whole, often think of moths as these kind of gross creatures that like eat your clothes and stuff like that. Truth be told, I have no idea what moths actually do. If these are not moths, by the way, I apologize that this is like going to be completely irrelevant, but I think it's a moth. But like, I genuinely don't know what purpose moths have. but it's interesting because you know, he's talking about, I think it was being here all along. Sorry, brain thinking too many things. But it's almost like a subversion, because like when you think of like a moth in a cupboard, you think of it as a nuisance because it's eating your clothes. But here, because of the comparison there with the moth and the collar, you actually think instead, well, at least I do, I think of the moth instead being trapped in the wardrobe, you know, left behind. You know, maybe you've gone in to get clothes, opened the door, they've flown in, you've closed the door. You don't care about their existence at that point because they haven't eaten your clothes yet, but you've closed the door, you've moved on with your life, and then you come back, open the door, here's Mr. Moth, Mrs. Moth, whatever. They're eating your clothes and you're annoyed because they're eating your clothes, but you didn't take any note of their existence before then. And then for him to be kind of saying the same thing lyrically here, I think very much fits that, of like that feeling of I've just been left here, I exist, but you've never noticed me, and now I'm a problem, question mark.
'Cause you won't know I was here from the moment the lights showed.
His eyes and the inverted oh, I was about to say like the inverted titling, but then the way that like they did the tracking shot with the I went too far back, but they with where the papers wiped some of it away. That's so clever.
Bless my heart when the wolves take me away. Don't fall apart when I come back from the grave. Forget my charms, I'll never be the same. We've came so far, only to drift away. Oh, bless my heart when the wolves take me.
I am sorry. The way that changed up, we went from like Phantom of the Opera-esque kind of sound, and then it like changed up here to like, I don't even know. I really I don't even know. I've got tremors. I'm obsessed.
Apart when I come back from the grave. Forget my charms, I'll never be the same. We've came so far, only to drift away. Oh, bless my heart when the wolves take me away. Don't fall apart when I come back from the grave. Forget my charms, I'll never be the same. We've came so far, only to go inside.
I am loving this. The structure of this song is very interesting. I feel like the way that we've moved through these sections so far, it feels like, and I don't mean this in a negative way because sometimes it could be a bad thing, but in this case, it feels like, and perfect for the theme running through this whole thing, but it feels like 3 different songs so far, but they blend so well together. Obviously they're not 3 different songs, but they blend so well together that it works. And again, it really leans into that that insanity kind of theme and vibe. It's really interesting. Just that lyric that's stuck in my head is "We've come so far." Again, it's that aspect of I've been here, but you haven't noticed me. Even when this part here comes in, here. I even got some. So the beginning, it was feeling Mito-esque, with the dramatics, and then it was giving me. I think when this first change happens, it was giving me So Beautiful, with the way the accompaniment changed up. I think. And so it's interesting that we're moving through these, to me anyway, moving through these different songs. Because to me, again, they don't sound like, I don't know what Mr. Insanity sounds like, but for me, these sound like things I've heard before, if that makes sense, because they remind me of those. So to me, I haven't yet heard what Mr. Insanity sounds like, which is very interesting.
I'll never be the same. We've came so far, only to drift away. Oh, bless my heart when the wolves take me away. Don't fall apart when I come back from the grave. Forget my charms, I'll never be the same. We've came so far, only to go insane.
Ooh. I'm sorry, that shot is that's haunting. I mean, so yeah, so this is the wig, obviously. The Toto. I'm still not gonna get over the fact that my first thought was Toto. Like, it's not a wig, it's a dog. But interesting. Also, we did get a lyric earlier about being lost to the wolves, being taken by the wolves, and so now we're it almost feels like he's been bitten, because it looks like there's a transformation happening here, like you've got the claws, and so this is almost what I was saying earlier about the moth. This is the moth that you've left, and they've now eaten half of your wardrobe, and like, but it's not their fault. Werewolves are, by definition, uncontrollable, because they have little to no sense of awareness, connection to anything. When you see werewolves in the literature, so many times they're chained up, they're tied up, they're isolated. And so it's interesting for me watching this, because there's other people around them, around Mr. Insanity, that given their like almost clownish, gesture-esque attire. I was gonna say get up, but attire I think is the better word. But given their attire, it's almost giving like they're clueless to what's about to happen. They're oblivious. They're unaware. I don't think, and please forgive me if I have, and my brain just is so densely battled at keeping memories. The mark on his cheek there, that feels, because obviously in the title, why am I struggling with that word? With the title earlier, the same symbol was there. So does that mean, is that like an asterisk? Because I was thinking it was a cross at first, but now I'm wondering if it's like an asterisk, and it's saying like Ian asterisk, and then small print, actually it's Mr. Insanity, whisper, whisper, whisper. You know what I mean? And in the same way, like they're clueless. They think this is Ian, but it's Mr. Insanity. I don't know if I'm barking up the wrong tree, or if I'm somewhere close to that. Very, very interesting. I love the whistle. And the bass. Oh, the bass. Ooh. Well, there's Ian from the teaser.
When the nightmare goes, I've been feeling distant, just way out of control. But I laugh inside, just so you can glow in the dark when it's time for me. So just...
Sorry. I have a vague memory, and I don't know if I just imagined this, but I have a vague memory of someone in the comments was talking about how like Maito is generally like a low voice. and I believe, and this is where I can't remember if I've just invented this or if someone actually said this, Mr. Insanity usually has like a higher tone to his voice, if I'm recalling correctly. If I'm wrong, yell at me in the comments, but be nice. Yell at me, but be nice. I can't remember if I just invented that, but there I was like, ooh, are we starting to hear Mr. Insanity now? I do really, really love the color palette of this section. It's very psychedelic. Obviously, throughout we've had the warbling and the liquefying of the video and parts of the video, but here is very psychedelic, like from the coloring of the plants and the color grading itself. It's very interesting. Also, I'm just trying to think of like the teaser here, like timeline wise, because this definitely obviously feels after it, but it's got me like asking questions of like, where's the you guys are gonna think I'm so stupid. Where's the Toto wig? I'm not. Please don't think I'm making fun of Ian when I make that. It's just purely because I'm hyper fixated on the fact that like I thought that was a dog in the beginning, and so going back to like the werewolf thing, it's kind of like, ooh, you know, what's he been up to get himself into the grave? That's what I'm kind of thinking of. This I didn't intend to come back to this frame, but this is a gorgeous frame. Just the way the colors are all balanced. You've got the kind of the soft yellowy white, the darker midground, and then back to it's not the same hue because obviously it's slightly shadowed, but like that similar hue at the back, and then you've got like the color of the irises. They're gorgeous contacts. Now that I'm seeing them, they're looking more like crosses, by the way. They're also giving very werewolf vibes because it's giving the moon. I don't know, I can't remember all of like the moons, but like it's giving like when it's not necessarily a crescent moon, but it's giving like a moon phase as well, to me. I'm very curious what I don't know if it is literally just like his heart, kind of like heart on your sleeve, but like it's exposed instead. Maybe. I'm very curious to what's on top. Looks like something's like leaking out of it, kind of like when steam rises. I'm not sure. Very curious.
When the nightmare goes, I've been feeling distant, just way out of control. But I laugh inside, just so you can go.
Oh, that piano.
When it's time for me, so just stay. Why don't you wanna stay? You just wanna try me out. Why don't you wanna stay?
This is like, again, Wizard of Oz is just coming in my head. You've got the house, hasn't landed on him, thankfully, but it's an interesting subversion. He's the witch, yet they're the witches, and you've got this crude change here. The broomsticks as pitchforks. That's very, because when you think about it, obviously broomsticks are in kind of the witch literature, they're obviously a transportation, so there's an element of escape, running away, even if that's not what they're necessarily used for. But here, you know, there's a defensive aspect to it, but here that subversion and that change to pitchforks and rakes makes it much more aggressive, much more offensive of a tactic. And yet it's interesting here that the witches, and I'm assuming they're witches because I can see a brooch on one of them, and just the hats, if not the kind of coats. But it's interesting here, they're the ones banishing him. It's a very interesting use of, and I think it's Wizard of Oz inspired, being brought out here. Yeah. So interesting. I'm curious of what these implements are, because I can't really see them. Obviously, I know they're weapons, but I'm not sure what they are. Oh, Oh, they're scythes. They're scythes. They're Grim Reapering. Oh my god. He got out of the grave and they said, nope, get out. I think that image as well with the why don't you want to stay? I think that's almost as sad as some of the things Maito has said.
Why don't you wanna stay? Oh, bless my heart when the wolves take me away. Don't fall apart when I come back from the grave. Forget my charms, I'll never be the same. We've came so far, I'll need to go and say.
That is a lovely twist. As I was saying, like Mr. Green is reminding me of Alphaba, and so the fact that he is saving him makes me happy because it feels like that. Especially like with Wicked and stuff, feels like that kind of turn of the character. I want to see, if I can, what was on the here. Pure Luck Saloon. Oh, yes. Okay. I wanted to see if there was anything, because like on the signage there, yeah, like just like how like Ian and the altars have kind of moved through life feels like pure luck to Ian, but like each altar has had a role in that. It's also very interesting here, like us again with the Wizard of Oz. This to me is like this is Kansas. Almost it feels like, but there's again that twist of he's not Dorothy, he's not clicking his heels to escape, he is the hunted person, he is the one that is being kind of vilified, and having that twist of like home, if you assume this is home, being changed into like something so hostile. I feel like there's so many layers. Like obviously when an altar surfaces, for instance, and to people who aren't aware, it might just be seen as like Ian doing something bad or something like that. I've said it in previous videos, but like altars could easily like ruin relationships and connections that Ian has, if that was the direction that they so wish to take, and so it's almost like here, Mr. Insanity, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it is Ian, but like it's almost like because of what Mr. Insanity is representing here in this world, Ian is now being punished for it. Obviously I said in the teaser part of this reaction about how like he represents the wizard, and so it almost seems like the wizard here, in kind of the same way he is a little bit in Wizard of Oz, he is a semi villain character, a villain-esque character. Yeah, it almost feels as well with the pure luck. It's almost like with the wizard's inventions, like he calls it magic, but it's just science that the people of Oz don't understand. So maybe in the same way, the decisions that he's taken or the things that he's done seem magical, seem wonderful, but they are just pure luck. Very, very, very curious to see which then here you've got the burning of the witch, burning of the bad person, burning of the villain. So it's almost, going back to my moth metaphor, it's almost like this is the moth's revenge. Like, I'm ruining everything for you because you haven't noticed me, you haven't taken a single note of anything I've done for you, or that I've even been here. So now I'm going to show you the consequences of that. Might be wrong.
Oh, bless my heart when the wolves take me away. Don't fall apart when I come
I'm sorry. Were they butterflies?
Come back from the brink, forget my child.
Yeah. So now they've changed from moths to butterflies. I'm curious what that's going to be. So there's almost a catharsis there of like, I'm punishing you and I'm feeling better, maybe. I'm not sure if that's entirely right, but there's definitely a catharsis there through that metamorphosis, which is interesting because, again, obviously in reality, butterflies metamorphose from caterpillars, just like moths. They're seen as, in comparison to butterflies, they're seen as ugly, kind of useless. Apart from, you know, their ultimate turn into something beautiful when that process happens. So yeah, it's very interesting because even with the werewolf metaphor, you know, werewolves can be beautiful creatures, but they're at their core, they are seen as something ugly, something, you know, to be beastly is to be bad. You know, werewolves are often used as metaphors for instance, gay people, because historically, you know, gay people were seen as predatory, beastly, you know, malicious, and things like that. And so it's a similar different fork of the same meaning. In the same way, his Mr. Insanity's insanity, you know, completely different odds to different side to that meaning, but has the same consequence. You know, his insanity makes him beastly, makes him uncontrollable, makes him unwieldy. And so it's an undesirable trait. It's a trait that, it seems to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at this point Ian wasn't wholly aware of. I think maybe after this kind of time musically, I think he was aware, but I'm not sure he was aware before. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, he has that unsuitability for society, it seems, and maybe you could even say like the other alters were keeping him in check, whether they knew it or not, and now obviously they're not able to. Also, I just want to say this music video has the triad of supernatural, because you got the witches, you got the werewolves, and obviously when he came out of the grave, there is that vampire-esque ness to it as well. And you do also have the coffin. I meant to say that earlier, but I forgot until I saw the coffin. Also, it's interesting, there seems to be a light in the coffin, which I'm wondering if the coffin is going to be the door out of there, because it looks like either that's on the coffin or that's the gap between the door and the actual coffin. But I wonder if that's going to be the escape.
I'll never be the same. We've came so far, only to go insane.
Sorry, there was something comical about that. That was very Joker-esque. And that's very clever, because he thinks he's saving Ian. I'm pretty sure he thinks he's saving Ian, but he can't see. Unless he does know. Does he know? Nah, he doesn't know. The way he's acting makes me think he doesn't know. Also, when I was saying escape, I was thinking of like the door from the teaser. Obviously, I know they've run away, but like I was thinking maybe that would be the easy way out. That's a horrible thing to say, like out of context, but in context, what I mean is it's more of a portal. I was thinking it was more of a portal at the time. Are they? Sorry, please hold. Every time I can't tell if they're butterflies or moths now. They kind of look like both, but they're purple, pinky purple. Oh. Okay, this is the part that I get, that I do the swiping. This is the part I do the swiping. I hear that first little tiny second, and I'm like, swipe. Okay.
I'm safe. Can't see. I'm safe.
Oh.
I waited endlessly all night, looking up at all the fireflies in the skies.
They're fireflies. I just needed to wait for him to tell me.
I made it carefully to your side. That's when the lights turned on and you were just alive.
Ooh.
I'm safe. I'm safe.
That's the way that door looks. I know they're on a train, but the way that door looks reminds me of No Blueberries. That has to be intentional, right? Also, I'm just gonna quickly go back a little bit. That little motif that it almost sounds like a siren, like a warning, which is a clever little musical kind of device there. It's very interesting. Okay, so as I said, swiped. I'm coming back to this for a reason. Swiped. My understanding, because again, swiped, is that everyone does like a sexy dance or something with the belt. I don't understand how we got from this to sexy belt. If anyone can enlighten me on the journey of how that happened, I don't know. Because I understand obviously you can say like, oh, the breaths sound sexy. To me, they sound exasperated, like for instance, they've just been running, so they're tired. It feels like struggle. You're exhausted, you're tired, again, you're tired. But I'm very curious to see how that changed. Obviously the bass there sounded very good, and I do love myself a good like bass guitar. But I'm just very curious. I love the use of, again, the jokerish jester clown aesthetic here, because it's interesting. You've got again, obviously a werewolf, but you've got a pack, but the pack is not like him, and so it's almost like these are all of the other alters in Ian, and they're all following his lead, but none of them are like him. None of them are the same as him. And it's very interesting because we've talked about this, I think, since I started reacting to Ian. But you've got, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, it looks like at least two of the people have skirts, and so that definitely feeds into the idea of like how TID alters can be the same gender as the host or a different gender, or indeed no gender, and so it's interesting here that inclusion. It feels like a nod to that. I love the way that I didn't even notice, like the stage is all like warbly. It's so interesting. I guess there is also, I'm sorry, I guess there is also a kind of thing of crazy is sexy in this, insanity crazy in that way. I guess that could be why. Sorry, I'm really I'm really bugged down, because as well, it's been such like a small segment of the song. I expected like, because obviously it's been a challenge. I expected it to be a more significant part of the song, and it's not, so I'm very confused.
Looking up at all the fireflies in the skies, I made it carefully to your side. That's when the lights turned on and you were just alive.
And we're back to the start? Question mark? Or are we back to the teaser? Is this where did the teaser take place after all of this? Ooh. Ooh. I also just want to say really quickly as well, when he says about like turning on the light and them being a lie, it reminded me of Scaredy Cat as well. Not wanting to like fall asleep, not wanting to lose control. And so it's interesting here having something very physical, like in the act of turning on a light, to kind of ward against Mr. Insanity, or on the flip side, if I'm interpreting it wrong and it's Mr. Insanity saying that, turning Ian off, that would be very, turning his consciousness off, as it were. It's very interesting. Oh, I wish you could. Can I turn off these? I'm trying to pay attention. I'm trying to pay attention. Is the door going to be there? The door is not going to be there. Wow. I was thinking I was going to get a lost moment there. Wow. I love that. Again, I don't understand how the sexy trend happened. I guess you could say like the dancing was very attractive, but like I feel like I don't know. That's just my brain. I really loved it though. I love the references weaved throughout. It's also interesting. Now I'm thinking about that because I just was seeking through the thing, the saloon. Obviously, usually you've got this town ain't big enough for both of us. Obviously, the two are working together, and so it's interesting. It's almost like the two are actually obviously Ian and Mr. Insanity inside the one. I almost missed that. So they're having that little war behind the scenes that the witches and things can't see, and Mr. Green can't see, and I think that's a perfect metaphor for you don't know what's going on in someone's head, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in someone's life, because again they're burning the witch. The whole witch trials was yes, steeped in superstition, but obviously at its core it was a big example of not knowing someone had a brain, usually a woman. Someone had a brain, they're a witch. Someone did something in a way that you didn't like, or you didn't expect, they're a witch. It was just an excuse to get rid of people you didn't like, and ultimately it was gossip and things that got people, in the witch trials killed. And so in the same way, you don't know here, or at least I say you don't know, the witches don't know that it's Insanity versus Ian, and so they're vilifying him because they don't know who he is, they don't know his full story. And again, same trope again with the werewolf trope. And it's links again in so many directions, but people are vilified for being different, and people don't look at the whole picture, or don't see or because they can't see the whole picture, they focus on one thing. I think that's the thing as well with Mr. Insanity so far. Chaos and insanity and craziness is viewed as a negative thing, and so they don't want to accept all of the thing. This comment, sorry, I was just scrolling. It's crazy how this went viral on TikTok and perceived as a sensual song when it's actually about mental illness. Exactly, that's my thought. Like, I don't get me wrong, I understand like how like musically it sounds like it could sound sensual, but like it's such a small section of the song. Like I figured, like, and this is my thing. I figured with the way that the TikTok trend had been so based around it, I expected the whole song to sound like that section. I'm kind of glad it didn't, because it's so interesting the way that the song moves. Not that I wouldn't be opposed to an entire song sounding like that, but I like the way the song moved from the beginning to that point to the end. But at the same time, yeah, because of that, and again, like I said, I swiped, so I never heard it. But obviously I knew that tiny second of it, and I am aware of like people using it as a sexy thing, and so I was expecting something completely different from that. I really liked it. As usual, set production is so good. Ian's visuals and ability to handle everything is just so inspiring to me. The man is so clever. I did notice, obviously I didn't mention it, but obviously the movie poster with the credits earlier on in the video, I love that. Again, well, I didn't comment on it at the time. I love the way that he puts them, the credits, in such a place where you can just you can't just skip by without seeing them. Even, like I said, though I didn't bring it up, I did notice it. I did take note of it. I think it's also fitting that, like, the shot that he used for that section, or that they that was used for this section, does give you kind of like a backstage after a scene, after a show, and you've got Ian and the team kind of thing. Sorry, you can't see my hands. I'm doing that, Ian and the team. And so there's a nice little parallel there. I love this music video. Yeah. I mean, what I will say though, I guess, is obviously people can take from music what they want. Like, music is all about interpretation. And so obviously some people obviously did think a certain way about the section. Yeah. 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 Just phenomenal. I fear I haven't seen everything for this, and like picked up on everything, so I apologize. Please feel free to fill in the gaps. But I really like this. Yeah, I'm just I'm always blown away by the way that Ian can tell his story across so many mediums, not just, not just music, not just film / visual, but how you really need the blending of the two mediums to truly get like the best picture, as it were. That wasn't a pun, but yeah, to get that big picture, to see everything as clearly as you can, and as clearly as Ian wants us to see, because I guess going, sorry, I know I'm hyperfixating on the TikTok trend, but like, you could just ear, where did my H go? You could just hear the song, and like, if you weren't paying it any attention, like it was on in a pub or something, or in the background, you could just be like, oh, it's a really catchy dancey song, because it is a really catchy dancey song. But like, there's so many layers to it. one thing I did pick up on is the obviously insane to I'm insane as well. But it's like it's easy to lose that kind of if you're not paying 100% attention. If you like again, like I said, if it's on in the background or something. And that's the thing as well. I wonder if it's necessarily, because it could just obviously be Ian saying I'm sane, but it could also be a plea and a begging from Mr. Insanity saying like, no, I am sane, like I'm not crazy. It gives you a lot to think about. It does give you a lot to think about. Yeah, I really, really liked it. One thing I will say though is as a kind of a last thing, just if it is Mr. Insanity that was saying I'm sane versus Ian, if that is the case, it's interesting that we never saw Mr. Insanity without his collar, because obviously obviously the collar is kind of like almost a brand at this point, like you are insane, you need to be controlled, you need to be contained. And so if it is, it's very interesting. But no, I think that's all I have to say about this. I really, really liked it. Another great song, another great video. The styling is impeccable. The cinematography, the set design, the set dressing, the costuming. Because last thought, the witches. Obviously, I've been saying like they could literally be like people that like connections that Ian's lost because of Mr. Insanity, but at the same time, it could be the other alters, kind of like sat at their table being like, we don't associate with you. You know, you're too crazy for us. You're too insane for us. We'd rather have Ian than you, kind of thing. Which again is so mind-boggling to me to think about, like, because obviously as someone without DID, without having, you know, I don't have alters or anything, it's very interesting. But yeah, no, I really, really, really think there's so much in this music video. Yeah. It's going to be pondering on my mind. Going to be on my mind. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will hopefully see you guys in the comments, chat to you about things if you'd like to. Hopefully you will like to. But yeah. Amazing. And I just noticed like this is I made this video an hour long. Didn't mean to. It's because this is a cinematic masterpiece, so it would be an hour long if it was in the cinema. So I just had to had to do that. No, I'm kidding. No, I never intend my videos to be as long or short as they are. But thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Support the original, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye.